What's up, y'all? It's your boy No Cap, and today I want to go over what I think is the top 5 prospects going into the 2020 NBA Draft. It took me some time to put together this list, but trust me, I went over it, and we're going to go over it together, and I'm going to explain to you why these 5 guys are can't-miss picks. Now, before we get into the top 5, I'm going to give you guys 3 notable players that I think just missed the list that you definitely should be on the lookout. If your team didn't get a top 5 pick, these 3 players should be on your sights. The first of the notable 3, Killian Hayes. He's a 6'5" point guard out of France. Reminds me of like a Elfrid Payton, Lonzo Ball type. You know, he's not really much of a scorer, but he's a playmaker. He creates. He's a great ball handler. He can get to the basket. We'll see how that translates at the NBA level. He has a decent jumper. Like I said, he reminds me of a Lonzo Ball type player. He's 6'5" only, so he's not really the perfect comparison. But Elfrid Payton kind of with a better jumper. We'll see what this kid becomes, but I have a lot of high hopes for this kid, Killian Hayes. He's very talented and very raw. High ceiling. He's a project, but it might be worth the risk. Next up, we got Devin Vassell, Florida State guard, 6'7". He's 20 years old. This guy reminds me of Paul George. He's a great two-way player. If you need a player who's just gonna mind his business and get the job done, draft Devin Vassell. He will get the job done. He can shoot, he can pass, he can get to the basket, he can defend. This guy is great all around. He can pretty much fit any system. Wherever he goes, I have no doubt he will be a good NBA player. Last but not least of the notable 3, I think is the most slept on player in this draft. Aaron Naismith out of Vanderbilt, a 6'6" small forward. Reminds me of Buddy Hield, Tyler Herro. He's 21 years old. This guy can shoot, period. In a league where shooting is everything, this guy is underrated in the draft. They're looking at him in the teens maybe. Like, come on. Aaron Naismith will be a good NBA player. I will not be surprised if he's in the Rookie of the Year talks. This guy can score. He can shoot the ball off the screen, off the pass, with the ball in his hand. This guy can shoot. I don't want to say he's like a Klay Thompson because Klay is a Hall of Famer. But man, this guy can shoot. But now, let's get into our top 5 prospects of the 2020 NBA Draft. Number 5, Deni Avdija. Deni Avdija is a 6'9" small forward out of Israel. He's 19 years old. A lot of people are comparing him to Luka Doncic. Listen, I agree with that. But the one thing we have to take into consideration is Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic because of his clutch, because of the ice in his veins. When I compare Deni to Luka, I am comparing the body. I am comparing the skill set, the gameplay. You understand? The tendencies. I'm not comparing the ice in his veins, the clutch, the Hall of Fame DNA. We have to see if Deni has that. Luka's clearly cut from a different cloth. In my opinion, Deni reminds me a lot of Luka and Danilo Gallinari. He's a long player. He's not really the best defender. He can dribble the ball, probably be your primary ball handler, if not your secondary ball handler. He can shoot, get to the basket. He does a lot of great things, and his length helps him get to the basket and finish. I do think he'll be able to translate to the NBA, and I think he'll be able to be a really good starter. Any team will be lucky to have this guy. This guy can play and fit on any team. He can stretch the floor. He can dribble. He can do whatever. One of the great things is that in the league where small ball is killing, I think he's really going to be helpful, and he's really going to have a long career in the NBA. But now let's move on to number 4. Number 4, James Wiseman. James Wiseman is a great player. He's a great finisher. I think he's the best center in the draft. Might be the best finisher in the draft. Great rebounder. I love James Wiseman. I think the Golden State Warriors could use James Wiseman. I think a lot of people could use James Wiseman. He's a 7'1" center out of Memphis. Only 19 years old. He's explosive. He's the definition of explosive. He could get you the rebounds. He could kill on the pick and roll. He's just a pick and roll animal. Throw him the lob, get him the ball, and let him eat. He reminds me a lot of a Marvin Bagley or a Hassan Whiteside. The thing that I like about Wiseman is that I think he actually has that different pedigree that could make him an all-star. That Marvin Bagley and Hassan Whiteside, they seem to have the skills, but they haven't really unlocked their full potential. I really do think James Wiseman will unlock his full potential, and he should have a really great NBA career. And that's just offensively. Defensively, he's an animal. He could get the blocks, he could control the paint, do a lot of great things. He's really a two-way player. Anybody would be happy to have James Wiseman on their roster. But now let's get to number three. Number three, Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is a 6'9" power forward out of Dayton. He's 22 years old, which makes him one of the older players in the draft. But let me tell you something. I think this guy is slept on. I think that he should go higher than he really is. A lot of people are going to say, how do you got Obi Toppin so high? Let me explain to you why. We're talking about the NBA, right? When we draft, we're talking about fit, potential, everything. Obi Toppin has a great personality. He has a great character. He has post moves. He can drive. He can shoot and spread the floor at the 4 position. He can bang with the best of them and he can shoot outside. I do think this guy's underrated. He's small and fast enough to switch on everything. I think this guy's a perfect NBA player. He reminds me of a Paul Millsap, Amari Stoudemire type. I'm telling you right now, if this guy slips and falls, people are going to regret it, because this guy right now could help a team get to the championship. He's a piece. He's a great piece right now. At 22 years old, this guy's going to have a great rookie year. Look out for Obi Toppin. Now, number 2 is really close. It's almost like a 1A, 1B. But for number 2, I'm going LaMelo Ball. 6'7" point guard out of Big Baller Academy, I guess. He's only 19 years old. This kid is a monster. Like, I know he has a lot of fans. I know you guys hear a lot about him. I know you think like, oh, he's going to be like, you know, the next whatever. No. Pump the brakes. This kid is a monster. He's a 6'7" point guard. Just imagine Lonzo Ball was explosive, right? Imagine Lonzo Ball was explosive. That's what you're getting here with LaMelo Ball. He has dribbles, creativity. He can get to the basket. He can shoot. Now, my problem with him is that I don't think he's going to be the most efficient shooter, but I do think that he has that ice in his veins, that I don't care, that his brother really doesn't have. I think LaMelo Ball has what it takes to be a superstar in this league, if not better. His body size is ridiculous. He reminds me of Michael Porter Jr. and almost like a Luka Doncic. I think what we're going to see from Michael Porter Jr.'s development as he continues to grow, we're going to see the same thing out of LaMelo Ball, except LaMelo Ball is a better ball handler, right? He's a point guard. LaMelo Ball is a can't-miss player. If you can get LaMelo Ball, take LaMelo Ball. However, there's one player that you notice I left off the list, and he's the number 1 player on my 2020 NBA prospects list, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a 6'5" shooting guard out of Georgia, and he's the entire reason that I made this YouTube video. I made this video so I could say I told you so when it happens. Anthony Edwards reminds me of Michael Jordan. At 19 years old, he reminds me of Michael Air Jordan. I know you're gonna say it's blasphemy. I know you're gonna say it's crazy. Just look at the way the kid plays. The explosiveness, the drive of Air Jordan. He can dunk on you, but wait a minute. He can face up, one-on-one, post up against you, shoot in your face, hit it from deep. This kid has the potential to be the best player in the NBA and the next closest thing to Michael Jordan since Kobe Bryant, rest his soul. As soon as I see the film, I'm saying, wow, this is something different. You can just tell in college when somebody has that pedigree, that attitude, that they want it more than everybody else. This Anthony Edwards kid has that. Now, if you want to talk on the low side, where do I think if he's not going to be Michael Jordan? Be realistic. He's not going to be Michael Jordan. Who would he be? I really think Anthony Edwards compares to like a Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo can drive and dunk on you, hit the three-pointer, be the whole focal point of a team. If Anthony Edwards is not a great Hall of Fame type player, then I really see him like an Oladipo type in the NBA. He's a can't miss, along with LaMelo Ball. For the sake of the Timberwolves, obviously, LaMelo Ball fits them better. But we're just talking talent here, right? So if we're just talking talent, I think Anthony Edwards is strictly the most skilled player in the NBA draft. Now, that was a lot to digest, a whole lot of opinions, and a whole lot of controversy probably. I'm sure you disagree. I'm sure you learned something. If you disagree, if you learned something, drop a comment. Let me know your opinion. Let me know your team and who you hope they draft. Please, if you enjoyed this video and stood the whole way, you might as well click like. I really appreciate it. And if you want me to keep putting out more videos like this, please subscribe. I will definitely keep putting these videos together. They take a long time, but I'm willing to do it if people are actually watching it. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. But for now, I'm out.